Oh yeah, cameras all look at me. Don't look at the telly. Imagine the telly's not there.
So I don't look at cameras.
No, just look at me.
Okay. How hard?
Oh, oh. So, hey, and welcome to Looks Like We Made It. I'm Izzy from Howell Media, and normally I'm joined by Chris, but he isn't here today, but I have a better guest in front of me. So, we're a family-run production company, and each week we chat about video content, the creative side of running a business, in a way that's actually useful. And this week I am talking to Henry Malton from Blue Onion, and can I just say, before you even say anything, is recently at an event when we were doing the speed podcasting thing, I was asked who my dream guest would be, and I said you.
Oh,
And
my
you're
heart
here.
melts.
So, for the benefit of our guests, listeners, for the benefit of our listeners, please do tell me, who is Henry?
Well, hello, listeners. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me onto your wonderful podcast. What a fantastic setup you've got here.
Thank you.
My name is Henry. I run a company called Blue Onion, which is an AI agency, and I'm also one of the community managers of the North AI Hub.
Wow, that's a lot of AI power.
A lot of AI power, yeah.
So what's the North AI Hub?
The North AI Hub is it's an initiative where we get the North with AI.
I suppose it's in the name, isn't it?
Yeah, so it launched in January at the actual BIC building. We hosted an event, a launch event. I did a piece on the people and AI because I think that's quite an important topic to talk about. And yeah, it's essentially getting the North involved in AI and helping people get to grips with it and just starting a community around it. That's the whole point of it.
Oh, amazing.
Hmm.
So, you are the AI guy, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I like
'Cause
I like to
we,
think I know what I'm on about.
yeah, because we've had previous episodes where we've talked about AI. I mean, if you look at like 6 years ago when we started this podcast,
6 years.
6 years, I
It's
know,
good going.
I'm old. 6 years ago when we started the podcast, it was kind of AI. I know it's been a thing and it's been around for a long time, but it
Mhm.
wasn't really a buzzword then. And it's funny when you
Yes.
listen back then, we had no idea it was on the horizon, but gradually we've been talking about it a lot more.
Mhm.
But I mean, in terms of what before obviously we hit your agenda that you have, your framework, if you will, what got you into AI?
Well, like you say, AI has existed for quite a long time. 1956 is when it was first invented
No.
in the Dartmouth project over in New Hampshire. It was a 2 month festival where lots of sciencey people, and they basically came up with this phrase called artificial intelligence. Now that was 1956, but in 19 some people remember from a film called The Imitation Game. Have you seen it?
Yes, I've heard of
It's a
it.
film
It's
about Alan Turing.
Yeah, that's the one with it.
Yeah,
Ben.
so he created a machine called the bomb, which I believe he nicknamed Christopher. And the whole idea of the bomb was to decipher the Enigma, which is a German. Um, it's like a special cryptography machine. So it helped the Germans send messages between each other without being able to be decrypted. And Alan Turing's job was to create the bomb which decrypted those messages. So
Wow,
that was where the first AI happened, really.
that's
Um,
amazing.
to give you some kind of context as to how far computers have advanced in the last few years, it took about an hour and a half to 2 hours to decrypt these messages from the Enigma using the bomb. Because of modern computers, that would only take about 2 to 3 seconds.
Wow.
So the advancements we've made in computers is very impressive.
But even then, though, an hour and a half or 2 hours to transfer a piece of information or to get that information still isn't that long in the grand scheme of things. Like,
Yeah, so I think the combinations of the Enigma was something like 130 quadrillion combinations. So even 2 hours is still
wow,
impressive.
that's incredible.
So in answer to your question about why AI and where the idea came from, I would I would say I've been a career entrepreneur. Now I'm only 26, so I've not done a great deal.
You're a
Um,
child, practically.
but I spotted a gap in the market. ChatGPT was released in November 2022, and people started using it. I would say a lot of people use it day to day. I think 30% of Europeans use it, 16% worldwide use it. Now, in my world, when I talk to people, it seems like everybody's using it, and that's because I'm in the industry. But I saw people using this new tool. It was doing incredible things, and I thought, how will businesses use this? Because it's a really powerful tool. Everybody knows the ChatGPT interface. We ask it to do all sorts of
Mm-hmm.
tasks and ask questions, and it answers questions for us, and it's a great piece of kit. But I thought, well, at what point are businesses going to start to integrate this into their workflows? Now, I've run a couple of businesses in the past. I like helping people. I like working business to business. So I thought, how can I harness this new, well, not new technology, but this new way of technology and help businesses with it?
That's amazing because I think it's when I suppose AI has become like because it is the new revolution, isn't it? I mean, we obviously had the internet, which sort of changed everything, and then
Hmm.
everything. There's always a cycle of technology, I think, where someone out there will go, "Well, I'm out of a job,"
Yeah,
and I think that's like, I suppose it's been a buzzword, I think, for the last few years because it is so incredible. It's made us basic skin bags, which are humans,
yeah,
work out whether we've had to really reflect on ourselves and go, are we good enough to do this, or is this thing going to take over?
yeah. It's a good point. And if you look at the advancements in technology over the last 100 years, it has moved so much quicker than what our brains can cope with. If you look
Hmm.
at human evolution, it's taken tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years to arrive where we are today. And the growth of technology has just gone exponential. And
Hmm.
I think it's got a lot of people confused and concerned as well.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about industrial change or changes in um, industries, I always think back to what it was like when the tractor turned up on the farm.
Yes. Those
So,
poor horses are out of a job.
yeah, try and stick with me here. So, tractor turns up on the farm, and there's 100 people who are hand picking fruit and veg, and they're looking at this tractor thinking, "Oh my God, this thing's going to take my job. I'm going to be out of work. I can't provide. I'm going to die."
Hmm.
Well, in reality, someone's got to sell the tractor, service the tractor, clean the tractor, um, all these different things, and a lot more jobs were created. We then went through it again with the coal mines and the shipyards closing, which is something I'll talk about in a little bit with the northeast and how the northeast of England might adopt AI. Um, but we went through a really big period of change in the 70s where the shipyards closed. We
Hmm.
went from I think it was mid 40,000 people working on the shipyards down to 11,000 within a decade. So that's
Goodness me.
30,000 people out of a job.
Gosh.
So you can see that the cycle that's happening. It happened with the agricultural revolution, industrial revolution, and now we're going through some kind of technological revolution. And
It's something that like because obviously it's not like it's not like a dirty word to say or whatever, because sometimes, because in my industry, obviously being in the creative industry, is that people use me as some kind of like confession person that they can confess all their content sins to, and they're like, "Oh, I used AI to create this. I'm so sorry," or "I didn't do this. I'm so sorry." And actually, it's like all technology. It's got its amazing benefits, but it's obviously got its downsides. But I don't really
yeah,
want to focus too much on the downsides because I feel like that's kind of, I don't know, I think we have to embrace it, and we've
we do.
always been about embracing it. And I think I guess the thing that if I was going to use any word, I'm the kind of person, I don't know if you're the type of person as well, who when you think about space, it makes your head hurt.
Oh, I could talk about space all day long.
Good.
Yeah,
So that's a different
it's
podcast.
got me. It's got me quite worried as well about how big the void is,
Like
and
that's what I mean.
there's
Like
voids in space that have nothing in between them for 250 million light years.
it just the thought, like I find it easier to imagine that we all live in a shoebox under a bed.
Yes,
Like
and the shoebox is the
it's
universe,
the
and we're
universe,
just a
yeah.
tiny piece of dirt on a
Yeah,
Earth
nothing makes
crust or
me
something.
feel small and insignificant as thinking about space. So thinking about space kind of does the same thing to me as thinking about AI and where it's going,
Yeah,
because it's like, I think, who was it? I was at an event and somebody said, right now is the worst it'll ever be.
correct.
And that mindset, that really did get me. But how does it feel being a person who's flying the flag for AI and being in this industry when it is not that it's been around since 1956, as I know now, but in its current form, as new as it is, how does it feel to kind of be in that world?
It feels incredibly exciting. So
Really?
yeah, it is. Now there is some social responsibility that I feel. Now I don't. and I don't claim to understand this technology to its fullest extent, but I know enough to help businesses and understand the basics, um, to help them with whatever they might want helping with. But it does feel really exciting, and I think it will. I think it'll get worse before it gets better. I
Hmm.
think the so just thinking about the UK side of things, the cost of employing people has just gone through the roof. I think minimum wage now is £29,000 a year. So businesses are going to have a really difficult choice to make. They either employ somebody at £29,000 a year, or an AI agent, or harness AI in a particular way, and it'll cost pennies in the pound to do a similar standard of work.
Gosh. And I think I mean, it throws up so many like not, well, I suppose ethical questions, social questions
Mhm.
of like, because I mean, particularly in the world like education and stuff, when you look at what like people are studying at school and at university, that almost you feel like by the time they get out of that, it might be obsolete because
Yeah,
AI is moving so quickly. Like, so in terms of like the Northeast in particular, you look at, I mean, we adopted AI pretty early, and we know a lot of businesses that do,
yeah.
and that's something that's kind of just become part of our business. I can't imagine going back now,
Hmm.
but I imagine there's still a lot of businesses out there that haven't even thought to try it yet.
A lot, yeah. Yeah,
Wow,
16% of worldwide population have used some sort of AI in the last year, and 32% of Europeans. So
there's
there's
still a lot that
a
haven't.
lot that haven't, and that's on a individual, let's use ChatGPT level. So
Mhm.
that's not on a business level. So I imagine in terms of businesses using and adopting AI, I'm sure that number will be a lot lower than what it is.
Do you find? I mean, it's an old term, but do you find yourself coming up against like the Luddite types?
Not really, not in my experience. I've not come across many people wearing tinfoil hats yet. I've not come
After
across
this
those.
episode, I may.
Yeah, maybe. But the businesses that we've worked with roofing companies, printing companies on a pretty large scale, like seven-figure turnovers, and everybody's been really receptive. Even the staff,
Mm.
we've gone in and we've explained who we are. They've said what we do, like AI consultants. No one's really had a problem.
That's amazing. And I think it has been, I think weirdly, I think it's been for us anyway as a business, it was uh the last year and a half, I think that we've been sort of really looking at AI. But I mean, I have a really random question that came to mind,
Go on.
and it's something that made me think about ChatGPT as well, or using AI,
Hmm.
is do you remember the first time you ever used quite a big internet thing? Like the first time you ever used YouTube, or the first time you ever like used Google or something?
Yeah, I do actually.
Good.
It was MSN.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I remember
nudge.
MSN. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was when I was in, it would have been secondary school,
Hmm.
and I used to come home and log onto the computer and see who else was online and
Yeah.
message them in chats.
We're
So yeah,
very similar in age, so
that's
that's exactly what I did.
yeah, that's probably what I would say is my earliest use of technology. I remember the
Yeah.
Nokia phones and doing Bluetooth for
Sending
ringtones and
like illegal MP3s to each other in
yes,
maths and
yes,
stuff
that
like
was
that.
good
And
old
the
days.
yeah, with MSN I do remember like putting like cryptic song lyrics as your status and seeing
Okay.
if stalking the person that you fancy and seeing if they'd ever get back to you. And they
Yeah.
never did. G to G, BRB. But it's because for me it was the first time, and this does make me think of AI, and there's a method to my madness, stay with me here,
I will.
is that back in like 2003, I remember being at my grandparents' house, and my granddad had a a laptop that he refused to use as a laptop. It was a desktop. It was like melted into the desk.
Okay.
It was like permanently plugged in. The battery was terrible. And my dad came like bundling into my grandparents' house and was going, "There's this really cool new thing called YouTube," right?
Okay.
And he was like, "You can search anything and it'll just like a video will appear and it's like free." And we were all like, "Oh my God." And my mum was like, that's something that's illegal. That's a scam. That's not real. And the first video I ever watched on YouTube was Whenever, Wherever, the Shakira music video. Because
Whenever,
which
wherever.
literally the first ever video I watched on YouTube was that one.
Yeah.
But it made me think about when AI started being started growing in popularity and you had
Hmm.
ChatGPT, people were starting to use it.
Yeah.
It was starting to become more common. I was in the exact same mindset of that's got to be illegal. That's got to be a scam. That's the same thing I thought about Netflix. Anything
Hmm.
big that comes onto the scene, I was really wary of it. And the first time I used it was just to look up what the weather was. And I was like, I could have Googled that or looked out the window.
It's a valid point though, because if you think about us as humans, we have advanced so much because of our fear receptors.
Hmm.
We're in survival mode constantly. It's why a lot of people are driven by fear. So
Oh.
you thinking of, oh, not sure how to use this. Is it a scam? Like that's just basic survival
Yeah,
instinct.
I think that was my first mindset of I've got to be wary of this. And I think then gradually you just start using it a bit more and a bit more, and
Mhm.
then you think, "Ooh, what
Yeah,
could I possibly do with this?"
plenty. We're at the
Yeah,
same time where the tractor's coming onto the farm. That's the same cycle that we're in.
I
And
like it.
the tractor is AI, and everybody's looking up at this thing going, "Oh God, I'm a goner." Um, which some n- not some people will be. People ask me, "Will AI replace people?" And when they say that, I think they mean, "Will it replace jobs?"
Mm,
Now, I don't think it'll replace people. Like people aren't just going to start disappearing off everywhere. When it comes to the job world, I think people's roles will shift,
hmm.
and we've seen that recently. So, Spotify, I heard the other day, they haven't written a line of code since December, January.
Wow,
It's all been using AI coding.
that's
Now,
amazing.
obviously, it goes through rigorous testing and making sure that it's writing the correct thing. But their role has changed. They're a, I mean, they're still a software developer, but a software overlooker, like to
Mhm.
make sure that it's writing the right things. So yeah, I think the jobs market will shift, and I think people are going to have to embrace it.
I mean, that's particularly in the creative industry. I mean, it's weird because like you could see it as like, oh, that's another nail in the coffin for me. Is it? Like you were talking about Opus Clip before, and I was like, but I'm a real human editor. Like I
Yeah.
should be able to do that. But actually, time wise, it, there's such a massive volume of materials that have to go out now all the time. There's
Yeah.
you have to be present all the time. The only way really we can keep up with that is by not being human effectively. But
Hmm.
I mean, there was something that I was intrigued to ask you about actually. I know you had a framework, but I don't think we followed the framework.
A little bit.
Okay, keep me right on the framework.
The framework's the framework.
Oh,
We'll just
we're dancing around it. Um, is the idea of that I've started to really notice recently, because we have like an AI system in our business that kind of basically is better at my job than I am. I think at this point it is really good.
okay.
But I have identified or noticed the confirmation bias that's attached to that, and by that I mean no matter what you put or what you ask, AI's like, "Yes, that's a really good idea. Yes, you're great. Yes, do it." What like I
Yes.
think in terms of like how do we navigate using AI and for different businesses or for personal reasons, whatever it may be,
Hmm.
how do we navigate that bias that it may or may not have? Like, is that something that it's very chicken and egg? Is it what comes first? Is it us directing our AI and managing it, or is it the AI thing itself?
I would say it's us managing it
Ah,
because
interesting.
it's not sentient yet, and sentient means AGI. So you might have heard that term mentioned a few times, but AGI, artificial general intelligence, is basically when AI thinks for itself like a human and can do multiple tasks without as much prompting as what normal AI needs. Now, I think what you were talking about earlier, where AI kind of needs training, and it gives the confirmation biases in to say, "Oh yeah, great job! Like I should have thought about this, and you're doing a great work." I think it's our responsibility to tell AI how we want to interact with it. So
Mhm,
there is actually a section for the listeners. If you go into ChatGPT, because I imagine that's what most people are going to use
mhm.
who are listening to this, there's a section within settings where you can give it a knowledge base. Now you
Mm.
can give it whatever you like. So you can tell it if you've got ADHD, you can tell it if you've got dyslexia, you can tell it your personality type, you can tell it to not always agree with you.
Ah,
And
interesting.
once you save that, it will then start to converse with you based on your preferences. Now,
Wow.
its automatic kind of default is to be agreeable, because I'm sure we can go into the deep dark depths of why that happens, but I would
Yeah.
imagine that it's because OpenAI and all these large language model companies, they want people on their platforms, and
Hmm.
if they have an AI to agree with you,
It's an
you're
AI
gonna
that's
feel good.
horrible to you.
Oh, I've had that as well. I've had AI rippers to bits. Um, so yeah, if AI companies can get people using their platform more by
Yeah,
agreeing with them and telling them that they're correct, short term that's good for the AI companies, but long term it's not so good for the individual using it,
that
because they're
is
not going
true.
to get a balanced opinion.
That is true. I mean, I, if you have a thick skin, there is funny things you can do where you like submit a piece of work to an AI and you say, can you give me feedback in the most sarcastic or bitchy way possible?" And just see it. And it's that's something to really humble you when that
Yes.
happens.
Mhm.
You can get it to do all sorts of fun stuff. But I think in terms of going back to the Northeast, d- is it something that have you noticed? Obviously, there is, like, we talk about the north-south divide and whatever. I obviously am not a northern individual by,
That's right. We
by
welcome you
accent.
in.
I'm welcomed in. I've been
Yeah,
here 10 years.
you're one of us.
I'm honorary now. I basically got my citizenship as a Geordie and now a Mackem. So
Okay.
I think I'm across both. I
Nice.
don't know what kind of wars I've started just saying that.
Nope, none at all.
Okay, good.
We're neutral.
But I think that um I mean I haven't lived in the south since I was 13, so I don't really have much of a connection there, but I know that the north-south divide is still very
Yeah.
big and is still very important. Have you noticed regionally there's been different uses of AI, or is it sort of like in terms of the use of AI, is it certain types of communities, backgrounds, people, genders? Is it certain people that don't use it or haven't used it, or is it just sort of
I would say the point you made earlier about creatives, I think they're quite hesitant to use it. I've spoken
uh,
to a few creatives in the film industry, the art industry, the music industry, and
really?
they're quite apprehensive about using it, because uh, creativity is special, and I don't think it should be replaced.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think it should always be there, and I think people are trying to get AI to become creative. Now, don't get us wrong, in some scenarios where I've used it, it has got me to think about things in a different way, and it's maybe given us a different perspective. But I still don't think that that really original creativity can be replaced, because
Mm,
AI is only as good as what you put in it. Now, if you put
yeah,
enough of the right things in, it'll start to give enough of the right things back. But we've got to remember we're only speaking to a computer. It's
that
not
is
human.
true. That is true. And I think when you're looking at, I mean, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if everyone does it. I mean, I'm gonna be slightly controversial here, or not really. I'm not controversial at all. But the when I don't know about you, when you go on LinkedIn or you go on Instagram or you go on some kind of social media platform, you've seen the caption,
Yeah,
and now if you're, I suppose if you're used to it and you've seen it and you're attuned to it, like I'm tuned into it because I use AI
yeah,
quite a lot. And also I'm in the creative industry, so I'm used to looking at how stuff's made versus what it actually is and
yeah,
seeing through it. But do, do you ever, when you see someone's posted on LinkedIn and you just see that it is obviously AI, like obviously
yeah,
just straight out of ChatGPT.
yeah.
What's does it automatically, you as a viewer or a reader or a listener or does it make you switch off, or do you still give it the attention that you think that person wants?
Great question. I wouldn't give it as much attention as what I would if it was coming from a human. So
Yeah.
there's a few tells. The M dashes, the long hyphens.
The weather.
They
Starting a sentence with whether it's,
Yeah.
that's always one.
And
But
here's
here's
the
the
thing.
thing. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
literally, yeah. Those are some of the tells, and then it's very long at giving out a lot of words, and there's not much direction or no hard hitting point. It's very fluffy.
No fluff. The word no fluff, no jargon.
Yeah,
No fluff, no jargon, just real talk, that sort of thing.
yeah,
And also the listing in threes and the kind of
yes,
like, and another one that really gets me if it's AI is the kind of how do I best put this? Where it's always rhetorical questions, but no, this is how it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
It's that kind of like where it's being read out as if it's being read by some kind of like American TV presenter sort
Yes.
of thing.
Yeah, it's
Like
very American.
I think for me, it's difficult because even particularly when it's people that I know and I like and
Yeah.
I want to show them support, but there's a part of me that feels like, come
Yeah.
on.
Bit of AI slop.
Yeah, like how in a world of, I mean, I'm asking this purely A because I am in the creative industry and I'm trying to save my job. So please help me, Henry.
I will.
Um, is how obviously there's a lot of AI slop out there.
Yes.
Lots of people just slinging it out and just throwing it out everywhere.
Yeah.
This I've spoken to people in the past who are starting a content journey who maybe have never posted a reel before and are
Okay.
starting out brand new or starting to do their marketing and thinking about it and they think I literally can't compete with the amount of volume of stuff that's out there
Yeah.
doing all this noise effectively and a lot of AI is great, but certain stuff when people just churn it out with any real sort of editing, if you will,
Yeah.
um, it means that they have to kind of cut through that as well.
Hmm.
Like, how far do you have to take it to make it feel human?
So this is a bit of a dichotomy that I have
Ooh.
arrived at in the last couple of months. Now, I originally thought about this back in, it was probably December time, and I knew that I had to change my content strategy because I can't get away with just putting words out. It's got to be me. People have to see me and see me talk.
Ta-da!
Hello. People have to see me, and I decided to launch an AI specific Instagram page, which is reels of me talking piece to camera about experience with AI, news in AI, what tools people can use, all the good stuff that people want to see. I decided to put that out there.
Ah.
So I think if for anybody listening who's worried about AI slop on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, be real with your followers and have an idea of exactly what you're trying to tell them, who the content's for, how it's going to land, and have real structure and
Mm.
get yourself on video because it's not that bad.
Ah, see, look, you're in front of three cameras right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, you got lights shining in your eyes,
Yeah.
microphone in front of your face, and it's not that scary. That's what I like to hear.
Great things happen on the other side of fear. So
Oh,
break
I
it
love
break
that.
it down step by step. And even if you don't post it anywhere, just get the camera out, film yourself, talk about a success, a win, a failure, a learning, whatever it is, share your story and people will listen.
Great things happen on the other side of fear. I love that. I'm gonna like that.
Steal it.
That feels like it's got to go on the wall or something. That's
Yeah, that's true.
amazing.
And a lot of
Yeah.
people are held back by fear, like I mentioned earlier on. And if people could just picture what they want and just put a plan together and just forget that you're fearful about it, just put yourself out there
I
and
love that.
do it.
I love that. And that's kind of the whole media mantra as well, which is great. And in terms of like, yeah, because I mean, fear, I think, comes from the unknown. It comes from
Yes.
like, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, I work with a lot of people who are terrified of being on camera and I have to tease
Help
them
them.
onto it and, help them, lure them on.
Yeah.
Um, But in terms of like, I've had people in the past who have contacted me. I won't name them because they probably do listen to this. Who've contacted me and said, um, I I want to create an AI avatar of myself that just says video, that just does pieces to camera. What's the best one to use that means I don't have to be on camera? And my response is basically just film yourself, just do it.
Yeah.
Like in terms of the like, I mean, I know it's great to hear that AI advocates, AI industry drivers like
Mhm.
yourself are still saying to be human.
Yeah, definitely. It's not about replacing humans. It's not about getting rid of humans, and it's not about this AI slop that we're seeing. It's about real connection and using AI to facilitate that.
Yeah, because until AI can film a dishwasher, I still have to be here.
Yeah, well, there is a place for that. I'm sure you've seen the robots online dancing and doing chores, which
Oh.
that
Did
would
you
be
see the one that malfunctioned in that restaurant in China and it just started dancing? really violently. Like when they would have to like turn it off, it was like, ah! But I think that, yeah, and I mean, all those the Yo Sushi restaurants where they have those little robots that deliver you sushi.
Yes, the
Want
drinks
one of
and
them in my
yeah.
house. I feel like
Hmm.
that would probably be a slippery slope for me.
Yeah,
But
I think that humans were never designed to sit behind a desk all day, answering emails and doing admin. That's what that's.
that's all I do.
But then if AI can replace that part of your job, it leaves you to do other successful and more revenue generating and serve your clients better.
We've got we obviously got our camera operators. I'm still trying to get you to be one, but you won't. Because
No,
no, because I see you with your camera out and about at events, and
yeah,
I'm like,
I've got to show you a video after this because it is wicked.
oh, see, well, no, that's
Yeah,
not doing you any favors because I will
sorry.
try and get you to work with me. But we have when we do live events and when we do lots of stuff where we need a lot of multi-camera setups,
Hmm.
we do obviously hire filmmakers to do this back and forth with the tripod, move, side by side, filming the person back and forth, whatever it may be. But actually, we now are investing in AI camera technology,
Brilliant.
called the OBSBots, called OBSBot. I keep calling them oddbods, and they're not.
Okay.
But we've got two of them, and they're called Max and Paddy. And they, obviously, and if you buy a third, I'd have to call it Brian or Jerry if you get the
Yeah.
reference. But with Max and Paddy, the operator effectively sits with a phone or sits with a tablet or whatever and operates them from that and moves them around, and
Hmm.
and they can learn what people look like. So they learn who I am or they learn who a speaker is and they follow them and all this stuff, and they are
Okay.
adorable. They look like little, like, they're just so cute. They're
Okay.
tiny and they're really sweet. But like, we haven't, as a creative business, seen that as great. We don't have to hire these filmmakers anymore. Because actually, instead, what we're seeing is great. We still have the budget for these filmmakers. Let's get them doing something else.
Yep.
Let's get them recording more vox pops for the client or the promo content for the client.
Hmm.
And that's the stuff that, yes, they obviously love the speakers being filmed, but that's functional. The actual creative stuff, it means I can pull them onto more creative stuff. So
I agree.
if there are filmmakers and people in the creative industry listening going, oh, well, because of all this AI technology, I'm not going to be able to get a job. In reality, I run a film company that's using it, but also not seeing it as right. I don't have to hire people now.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the fear, is that suddenly that work won't be there. But I think it still will be.
Yeah, I think it'll just look a little bit differently. So, for example, one of our clients that we work with, they are a roofing company, and there's this poor woman who needs to check 100 vehicle inspection reports on a daily basis.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel really sorry for her. She's got her own little office and she's sat behind a laptop and she has 100 of these reports to look through. It takes her 4 hours a day. She was not put on this planet to go through 4 hours worth of vehicle inspection
I don't think
reports.
anyone was, bless them.
Yeah, so we're looking at automating that process for her, and it's quite relatively straightforward. It's not too difficult to do. There's a fair bit of work involved to get the thing set up, but once it's done, that means that she saves 4 hours of her time per day, and then it gives the business 4 hours of her time. Now, what she can do with that time, up to the business. They decide what to do with it. Whether they get her to do other tasks, she goes down to part time. Who knows? But that's the kind of thing that we're encouraging businesses to do, to get rid of the small nitty gritty jobs that people were never designed to do. But
Yeah.
just because of how technology has evolved, it hasn't evolved to its fullest potential. Therefore, that's why we've got people sat behind laptops and computers just filling in spreadsheets and copy and pasting things over.
With a sore neck and a sore back normally, and wanting to look out into the outside world, like, which is what I do when I'm often sat behind my edit desk. Well, before I get on, so with these podcasts, I always end with a silly-ish question
Okay.
that I've literally thought off the top of my head. So we'll see where that goes. But before I do that,
Okay.
A, thank you for coming on the podcast.
You're very welcome.
And B, please tell our listeners where they can talk to you, find you, and hopefully work with you.
Yes, well, I'm on most social platforms. I've got my own YouTube channel, just Henry Malton. It's Henry Malton. And then I've got an Instagram page, Henry Malton AI. That's where all my AI content is. One thing I wanted to tell your listeners was about our first workshop.
Ooh.
Would you like to hear more?
Yes, please do
So
tell.
it launches on the 5th of May.
Okay.
8:30 in the morning till 10 o'clock in the morning, completely free to attend. And the workshop is designed to give you clarity, whether it's in your job or in your business, as to how you can best use AI. Now, the expectation is not for everybody to become AI experts or consultants or run their own agencies. It is to help people enable themselves to use these kind of technologies in the workplace. So if you work in a call center or an accountancy firm, the senior leadership team will have to make a decision as to whether they adopt this technology sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at some point, they're going to look to their team internally and say, "What's your thoughts on this, guys or gals?" And they'll say, "Oh, actually, yeah, I took a short course on YouTube, or I've attended a workshop with Blue Onion, or I've read this book, and I've enabled myself to use this technology. So I'm the kind of last person you want to get rid of." So I know it's a little bit dark, um,
I love it.
but if people are worried about AI, and I don't think there's a real reason to be, as long as you enable yourself to adapt and change with moving technologies. What I wouldn't do is just put the shutters up and try and forget about it, because it's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the workshop, 5th of May, it's on a Tuesday. We'll run one every month, completely free to attend, and you can come on. We'll deliver a presentation about what we do, how we can help you, what you need to be doing, and then if we've got time, a bit of a Q&A at the end.
That's amazing.
And you can find that on our website, which is thinkblueonion.com/workshop.
Oh, you've come prepared. I love it.
Have.
And question, can I come?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
Excellent.
all inclusive. Anybody can come.
To stop Chris sacking me if I say I don't know anything about AI.
Yeah,
Oh, excellent. Well, that's amazing. So the 5th of May, where is it?
online.
Oh, online. Even
Yeah,
better.
so
So I don't have to get
you don't have
like
to go anywhere.
dressed.
You can go back to COVID days where you're wearing a blouse and your jammers. It's
That's what I do, right? That's what I do on the podcast. That's what I do every day. But oh,
um,
fantastic. And so my question is, because at the start of this podcast you were talking about 1956, and that
yes,
took me way back, and I'm sad it's not 1955, because there could have been a Back to the Future reference in there, and I could have
yes.
gone, "Great Scott, Henry." So but my question is, if you could live in any other time period, what would it be?
That is an incredible question, and I wish I had more time to prepare for that answer.
Well, because in terms of like, because obviously, I don't know if you've seen it, those AI history videos where people are like, as if they're like vlogging in
Oh,
like
the
the
point of view
trenches, or
videos.
yeah, or they're
Yes.
like walking around like looking in ancient Egypt or the Titanic and stuff. And I know they're AI and you got to kind of take them at face value, but they're really cool, and they actually
They are.
do give you a like a really hyper real experience of it. And as a history nerd and someone who's always wanted to live in the past, I just I don't know. I look at them and I'm like, that's actually quite cool. So it's got an AI slant, but by me talking, I've given you time to think about it.
Yes, good point. I'm tempted to say some kind of Viking Nordic time period,
Yeah,
because
you got the look.
I get called a Viking a lot. Um,
You should just come with like a shield and a
yeah,
sword.
arrive in my longboat. Time period, I would say probably the 50s and 60s, that kind of
Nice,
period.
nice.
Jazz music, Chuck Berry,
Yeah, lots of
like
driving.
just before Elvis, I think. Just before the 70s Elvis was, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
That
It's
kind of
very
time
kind
period.
of like Beatlesy sort of time,
Yeah,
isn't
just without technology, because
it?
I think it's a great tool, but I think life was simpler without it.
Yes, I mean, I obviously people think because I work in, look, I'm literally sat in my own virtual studio, like
Mhm.
because I work in this sort of techie world and this marketing digital world, that
Yeah.
I love it. And actually, when I'm not at work, I have do not disturb on my phone. My screen time goes like, I literally use my phone for like an hour in the day.
Yeah.
I yearn for the days where I can just sit and read a book with a cup of tea and not watch the telly, and just I get away from screens. Like it's like a thing
Yeah.
where I want to live in the past
Mhm.
when I'm not at work. But for me, I think mine would I mean, it's difficult because every time period comes with its own political nightmares, disease, you know,
Misogyny.
misogyny, racism, everything. So no time period is perfect.
Yeah.
But mainly for the clothes, I would say, that sort of Downton Abbey time.
Okay.
That's sort of like
Like
pre,
Victorian.
Victorian, First World War, before everyone died, sort of pre-Spanish flu. That would be.
Yeah,
I want a
exactly.
bustle. I want a big hat and like an elaborate
Made.
cane. Yeah, I want to do that. But thank you so much, Henry, for coming on. And I still haven't mastered an outro. I'm sorry to my listeners who are, and my viewers who are listening or watching this right now. We are back every other Tuesday on Looks Like We Made It, wherever you get your podcasts, on YouTube, Spotify, Audible, wherever you want. And you can listen to lots of previous episodes as well. But once again, thank you so much for listening and for being here. And I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Bye for now.